Hello everyone, back on the Jag today, but I wanted to go over what we kind of took care of yesterday. We got the upper control arm disconnected from the spindle, and the brake caliper is now hanging off the upper control arm. But I just wanted to highlight how annoying the upper ball joint here is. It's in good condition, but the issue is once you start loosening the nut off the upper control arm, it just starts spinning the ball joint. And so there's next to no way to get that undone. And we even tried using the correct tool for tightening like the top of a shock, so it actually, you can counter hold it, and actually this has a way to counter hold as well. But that always strips, and it stripped. So what ended up happening is we cut the nut and then hammered it off. But pretty much we're gonna need new upper control arms. Is it time for them? Probably not. At 50,000 miles, that's pretty early, but is what it is. Fender liner also had to come out just to undo some plugs. One interesting thing that I think is unique to the electric power steering is that we have this cover with a positive going through, and I'm pretty sure that's thick enough to be specifically going to the power steering, which is right there, the electric power steering motor. Everything came out pretty easy, to be honest, other than that nut. One tip if you're doing the upper control arm, I would say, is if your nut's able to not spin in place, you can actually get an impact down here under the rotor and a super long extension to that nut. That seemed to have worked, but again, both of these control arms spun. The stud spun on them. So next up today is figure out what we're going to do with the transmission. This car has the manual transmission, and on automatic transmissions you have the gear selector on the side of the trans, and so it's pretty easy to just pop off the linkage to get the transmission ready to pull down. But here we have a manual. So the manual has the shift rod going all the way to probably about a foot behind the back of this exhaust. And so what has to take place is I have to disconnect the shift linkage and figure out how I'm gonna separate the transmission from the body, pretty much. Probably gonna go inside the car and pull the stick shift cover off just so that the rod can come down from inside the chassis or inside the vehicle. And then we just have to focus on getting any other cabling that is still connected to the body of the vehicle and the engine or transmission. I think we're getting there. I mean, in another 2-3 hours, I think this engine's gonna come out. First order of business, let's get rid of this heat shielding right here. 10mm. Yeah, I might just pull the drive shaft, and it's gonna make things a lot easier. Okay, that's the rear diff. Now we're gonna undo the bolts. Done. Last thing before we pull the drive shaft is undo the center support bearing, and it's just a 13mm, two of them. So you can see the shift linkage for a manual car right there, and what's holding the back support for the shifter is two 8mm bolts right here. Ooh. That's that. So now I'm gonna go inside the car and probably hit myself in the face. Usually it's just pull up, right? There it is. Next step, we're gonna break loose all the bolts for the lower subframe and the rear transmission mount. So you need 3 different sizes. You will need a 21 for the bolt right here, so right behind the air box. You'll need a 15mm deep socket to get the mount right here behind the lower control arm. And then for the transmission mount, you need 13mm. And there's 4 of those. So Let's get to it. It's time to start lowering the car, getting wood ready for this lift table. AC compressor has to get moved out of the way as well. I think I can just zip tie it up by the radiator. And away we go. Now we're going to put some wood, probably right on that subframe piece, and we'll find a spot kind of in the back there as well. Whoa, look at that sucker. It's starting to get a little rusty, so. $13mm impact. Whoa, we're okay, but whoa. We're looking at the back of the engine here, and one more unique thing that I can see here is for the clutch line. It is right here on this bracket. I just popped it off the bracket, but right there, there's a hard line going to the fitting. I think this is for bleeding the clutch. And there's just a C-clip in there. Pop that out, undo this, just literally pull it off the bracket, pull this out, there you go. It's all loose. So next step here is probably just to pull the engine out. Not much more to it, but I really liked that the slave cylinder line. That's really nice. We're almost ready to go here. So now, like I said earlier, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. And while we're doing that, we're going to be checking if everything's kind of clearing. The only unique thing we're doing here is the AC compressor situated between the radiator fans and the block itself. So first step, real slow, because I'm nervous. Let's see if we can lower the lift table a little bit. Whoa.
That was a lot. Oh, damn. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Monetize.
What's my hourly?
Dinner. So we got caught on the cross member of the lift here. As you can see, it's not clearing even when we pull it a little bit forward. So we're gonna have to remove the cats to be able to clear this post, and then finally we'll be able to pull out the engine without any obstruction, hopefully.
Are the cats called Jaguars?
Ha ha.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, that's slick.
So one thing that I really did like was, I like that all this wiring for the catalytic converters actually connects to the two main plugs.
So you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, because on some cars that actually is on the body, and so that's why in the previous videos I thought this bracket had to come off, because like I said, at least on my old Mercedes, this is all connected to the body. But Jag was clever, and they knew you were going to pull the engine one day, so they put it all on one plug.
Most reliable JLR product. It's all there.
Other than just doing the work, it's like not that bad. And for the manual, the only unique part is, like on the automatics, you have the shift selector on the side. But here, all you have to do is pull the shift boot off, or yeah, the boot and the knob. You're not allowed to say knob in the UK, but
Yeah, I got my post declined from a Jaguar group because I said shift knob.
Yeah.
It's instantly banned.
And this rear bushing just needs to be undone. But other than that, yeah, it's not bad. Driveshaft has to come out.
Yeah, it's over there somewhere.
Did not expect that, but whatever.
Goodbye.
Okay. Go.
Yeehaw.
Next video will be, we're going to remove the engine off the engine stand. And sorry. That did not make sense whatsoever.
There's an M113 on the engine stand that we need to use, and it will be removed, and we will add this one to it.
Correct. And then this subframe will be put back into the vehicle.
So you can roll it outside.
Yep, correct. Okay.
Ciao for now.